Hello rail fans, welcome to another French Fried Trains Minecraft locomotive tutorial. It seems like a few people watched the first tutorial, so we're going to go ahead and do another one. Today we're building a Conrail Gp38. I did have Gp38s I built in old worlds that I lost over time, but that was before I was building trains in the style I build them now. So this is the first time I'm building a Gp38 in this style, so this will kind of be the prototype, so bear with me. The first step, of course, is to have some tracks to build your train on. Since I'm already building a train coming off the city I'm working on, I'm going to go ahead and put it right on the front of this train. The first step is going to be the coupler, so take out dark oak stairs and put them opposite the coupler off the last train car. Underneath that, dark oak fence gate becomes your air hose. The underframe is black, so I'm using polished brick blackstone stairs. Put them facing this way, 3 across, right on top of the rails. Then the outsides upside down and facing outward. On top of that, a block in the middle, and then upside down stairs facing forward, 2 out on each side. Above that, just polished blackstone brick blocks. Now we're going to come around behind it and make a column of 3 blocks right in the middle, end rods on the bottom on each side to be our porch lighting. Switch back to our blocks, another column, and then stretch that out 3 by 5 across to the edges of both sides of the rails and ballast. Now we're going to come up, skip a block, and place whatever you're using for your wheels. I'm using netherite. Knock out that middle one and place an end rod to be the axle. I use end rods because they give a little bit of hidden lighting so you see your train at night. Between them, we need upside down stairs in this kind of T shape, and then netherite again for the wheels and an end rod for the axle. Now we take dark oak fence gates and place them in front of the wheels and behind the wheels and open them into the wheels. This is your sanders and air hoses. Then we're going to take polished blackstone wall and place them wherever there's stairs on the outside edge. Then, dark oak fence gates in front of all of the wheels. These trucks only have 2 axles. The Gp38 is a 4-axle locomotive. On the outside edge, above everything, we place slabs, going from where the wheels are on the front to where the wheels are on the back. And this finishes the bogie design for the locomotive. Now we're going to come right above here and fill in this middle 3 with your blackstone block, or whatever black block you're using. You're going to come out 2 past the wheel. The Gp38 has a bigger gap between the wheels and fuel tank than the SD40. Take your blocks, make another row of 3, come underneath and another row of 3. Switch to stairs, and we're going to come back 8 blocks with that. Upside down and facing outward. After that, switch back to blocks, come across the rails 3, then back to your upside down outward stairs and bring them 8 blocks forward to connect back with the front. Now switch back to your blocks, and we're going to fill in this middle 3 all the way to the back of the fuel tank. You could fill in the inside as well, but I don't waste time with it because it's not going to be visible from the outside when we're done. Then we're going to come 2 more blocks forward with it to have our gap. Now it's time to build the second truck, so back to our netherite block, placed on each rail, erase the middle block that you used to place it and put an end rod. Then we need 2 upside down stairs back to back in this T pattern, coming across to the other side of the rails. Then more netherite block for the next set of wheels and another end rod for the axle. Polished blackstone walls, go wherever there's stairs. Oak fence gate, go wherever there's wheels. Now we need to add our sanders and air hoses, so oak fence gate facing each wheel and opened into the wheel on both sides of the truck on all wheels, just like on the front. Now switch to your blocks and fill in this middle 3, coming all the way forward above the wheels in 1 past. Then we got to come down and get one on the middle here. one underneath it, one above it, so you have a 3-block column, and bring that out to the edges of the tracks on each side, so you have a 3x5. Then I just realized we forgot something on the trucks, so take out our slabs on the outside above everything, going from wheel to wheel on each side. So the outside edge, a slab above everything, wheel to wheel. Then we're going to come around to make the porch and the plow. So we need a column of blocks in the middle, 3 blocks high. On the bottom outside of that, 2 end rods. Switch to stairs, 3 facing outside sitting right on the rails. Above that, in the middle, 2 blocks. On the outside of this thing, each side we put upside down stairs facing outwards. Next level up, upside down stairs facing forwards right to the edge. Next level up, and just blocks. Now we need to make our stairs. So we come to one end of the locomotive, 2 blocks on the inside there, on each side. And then, once we have that, we're going to switch to quartz slabs. We got to get it on the bottom of each of the 3 blocks coming up. And there's your stairs. Do that on the other side, same thing, bottom of each block coming up. So there should be 3 slabs for your stairs. Come to the other end of the locomotive and do the exact same thing. Bottom of each block coming up, both sides. After that, now we have to decide which way our locomotive is facing. That will determine how we place our air tanks. I'm going to say the front is coming off to the void here. So we're going to go ahead into our inventory and we're going to take out the things we need. We need an anvil, and we need a player head, and we need a crimson sign. Once we have those things, we're going to come over here towards the front of the locomotive, and we're going to place a player head as straight as you can facing inside so you don't see its face. That's going to be the gas cap. Next to that, we need a crimson sign, but placed as straight as possible. I had a little mess up there. This represents your viewing glass for checking your fuel from the outside. Now we're going to go ahead and switch to anvils to be the air tanks, and we're going to bring that all the way back to the back of the fuel tank on both sides. Just remember, the gas caps should be on the side that's going to be the front of your locomotive. Now we've taken out a quartz block, and we're going to fill everything in on top here, end to end, 5 wide, until this whole thing is quartz. Now we're going to come back to the underside for some more details. Take out a chain, and in between the porch and the wheel, place a chain. On that slab there, 2 chains here come into the air tank, and then same thing here, 2 chains here. Basically, anywhere there's an open space on that level, put a chain. And we're going to do the same thing on both sides. So a chain there, 2 chains coming off this slab here, come to the back of the fuel tank, 2 chains here, and finally another chain going to that porch. Now we finally get to start building the main part of the locomotive. We're going to need some things first. We're going to need light blue concrete, and we're going to need to decide what color our windows are. I'm going to use white stained glass because I think it complements the color scheme of this locomotive. Come 2 blocks back from the front middle of the locomotive, light blue concrete, 3 blocks tall, and then 1 kitty corner on each side like this. This side's going to have a door, so we're only going to put 1 block and leave a 2 block gap. The other side, fill all 3. Come to the front, knock out that middle block, and place quartz to be your logo. Then, kitty corner to this, a column 4 blocks tall, light blue concrete to be the front edges of your cab. Behind that, a 2x2 of light blue concrete on each side. 2 quartz above it on each side to be your locomotive number. And then another 4-block column on each side to be the back of the cab. Now we come kitty corner in, and we're going to make a layer of light blue concrete coming almost all the way to the back of the locomotive here. Stop where the white quartz ends, 1 in the middle, and then bring another all the way back forward. So we're just filling this in all the way back to the back of the cab here. Now we're going to come to the back and we're going to raise this up so it's 5 blocks tall. We're going to knock out the middle one and place quartz to be our rear end logo. Then we're just going to go ahead and fill this all in with light blue concrete. We've only filled it 4 blocks high and not all the way to the top because we still have vents to place. Once we get up by the cab here on the engineer side, that first block behind the cab, we need to leave a 2-block gap for a door, or we won't be able to get into our locomotive from this side. Then same thing on the other side, we're just going to go ahead and fill everything in with light blue concrete. Now we have this side filled, so it's time to come back to the front. We're going to place our white stained glass on the sides for the windows, then on the front, one on each side like this here, and a concrete in the middle. Above that, we place another concrete and one coming forward, then 2 out to the sides so you have this like T-shape here, and then we bring this cab roof back 1 past where the end of the cab is to cover that doorway. I had a little miscalculation there and had to refilm, and I forgot to film we put prismarine stairs on each side above the cab because it's the closest to light blue. Now we needed something with vertical lines to be this vent, so I'm using polished basalt, three on each side, make sure they're going vertically. Come to the back with bedrock on each side, 4 blocks of bedrock to be your rear vents. Then we're going to go ahead and just fill in the middle here. Fill in everything on the top with your light blue concrete, even in the middle. Once that's done, we're going to start building our fans. So take out a prismarine slab, 1 block from the back, in the middle on the top. Go ahead and place that, and then just make this plus shape, and then another, just like that. It should end where the bedrock ends. Now, upside down prismarine stairs, 1 block from the bedrock, facing back, and then 3 facing outward, and then 1 facing forward. Same thing on each side. This will be the radiators for your dynamic brakes. The dynamic brakes on this locomotive also have 1 fan. So in the middle of the stairs, make your plus shape with the slabs, just like we did on the back. Now we need to do the middle of the fans, so knock out the center block on all the fans. Inside of there, place a blast furnace. Then on top of that, you're going to have to crouch to do it, place iron trap doors to actually make it look a little more like a fan. Next, for the front vents, the Gp38 has a raised area, so we're just going to use prismarine slabs in a 3x3 covering those vents. This locomotive has 2 exhausts, so knock out in front of and behind in the middle of that fan. You can use a blast furnace to make the exhausts, or I'll show you some other options. So we'll go into our inventory and we're going to take out a flower pot. Go ahead and fill that back in. You can put the flower pots there. This looks a little more real because the exhausts on this locomotive are a bit raised. Or if you wanted to have some kind of effect on it, we can go ahead and knock out those blocks, bring the whole thing up to 1 block down from where the hole is, and we could put a campfire in there on each end and cover that by crouching with a trap door. This would give your locomotive an actual effect of having exhaust coming out of it. So here we have a locomotive belching smoke. It's pulling hard, but I'm going to go ahead and take that back out because the exhausts do look raised on the Jeep 38, and I'm going to just use the flower pot version of the exhaust on mine. Now we're going to switch back to light blue concrete and work on the cab some more. In front here, above the quartz, 2 blocks. That's your stairs to get in. Same thing on the other side, 2 blocks. Now you can see behind the cab we have this hole where our door will be. Inaccurate, but it's a necessary sacrifice to be able to get in and out of the locomotive if we want an interior. So under this door, 2 blocks high so it reaches the door, and then 1 block down next to it so you can get down. We don't do anything on this side here. Now we take out light blue stained glass panes, 1 back from the cab, and then 3 high. And then we make that 2 wide. And now we have our blower. And now we're going to go ahead and work on the interior here. So we're going to place prismarine slabs 2 high. Then we're going to extend that back another 2. And on this last one, 3 slabs high. Then on the edges here, we make a column of slabs on each side all the way until it reaches the bottom of the windows. And then we go ahead and fill in on each side up to the bottom of that quartz. Same thing on this back and back here behind that door. Same thing on the other side, all the way up to the bottom of the quartz. So now we have the floor of our interior. Then we're going to come all the way in the nose, put an end portal to be our toilet. Come back up into the cab. And we're going to go ahead and place a door right there. Then we'll go ahead and come through back outside on the front and place a door there. Let's get right back through the cab to the other side here and place a door there. Then in the very back of the cab where there's this gap, knock out that concrete, put in a sideways furnace and a glowstone so you have a light and a breaker box. Here I realized the door was opening the opposite way I wanted, so I smashed it out. Come around, place some stairs to be your seats, item frame with a compass to be a gauge, and a lever for your engineer. So now we can come back outside and replace this door, and that should get opening the way we want it to. Now in our nose here we place a string above the M portal. This will hold up our carpet. And then all over the nose we're going to crouch on these doors and the string to place the carpet, and we're going to place black carpet on top of the nose. Conrail units had black here to reduce glare for the engineer. Now we place a warp fence gate in the top middle and open it, and that's our horn. Then we're going to go ahead and fill in the rest of the top with light blue carpet. Anywhere that nothing is built, fill it all in with light blue carpet. This just makes the top look a little bit more coherent. Even back here around the fans, that way we cover those vents all the way to the back of the locomotive. Now we're going to make the logos. So we're going to come back by the engineer side door on the bottom of it and come back, knock them out 4 blocks long, fill that in with quartz block. Then in front of that, we're going to make this upside down L shape, knock that out. Then behind there we need to make sure that's all filled in with blue concrete, an upside down stair facing the backwards, and right side upstairs in an upside down T shape. This is one of the few times I will use the stairs 3D building technique. Then 1 block down underneath the rear vents, we knock that out 4 and fill it in with white. This represents the word Conrail. I only use this 3D stair building technique here because it does make the Conrail logo look more accurate. Usually I find that technique to be too cluttered. So same thing, we knock out 4 for the Conrail. And then on this side, it's a little different. Knocked out the wrong one there. We have to take the top of our blower off. We'll fix it in a minute. So just like before, we knock out 4. Quartz goes in its place. Upside down L shape. Upside down stair facing backwards. I've been having a problem with placing stairs lately. They glitch and turn. And then right side upstairs in an upside down T shape. Now we got to fix the top of that blower there, so we're going to take out white stained glass and go ahead and fill in that top layer of the blower with white. Now we're going to build our handrails. We don't have blue, so I'm going to use warped fence. Coming from the bottom on the front, 3 high, bring it up 1 past, 2 over and 2 up. Same thing, a 2x2 here, leaving a gap in the middle, and then down to the bottom of the stairs and just attach that. On the other side of the stairs, come right up from the bottom and come 2 past it, and then all the way back to the front of the cab to connect it. This side on the bottom, we connect it to the cab and we drag it all the way to the back of the locomotive. Once we reach the Blackstone, that's where we got to bring the handrail down all the way to the bottom. And then same thing on the front edge, bring it up 1, over 2, and up 2. Same as the front, leave a gap in the middle, 2 by 2. Come to the bottom, bring that up and connect it. Then come to the bottom there, bring that up 1 past, and then we bring this forward to the front of the locomotive. When we get to the front on this side, it's a little different because of the stairs, so we come 1 up, 1 over, 1 up, and 2 over to connect to the cab. And then this last bit here, come up from the bottom, 2 past, and then over to connect to the cab. And now we have all the hand railings done. Now we're going to do our lights, so put an item frame in the top middle and on each of the corners of these fences like this. Glowstone goes in all the item frames to be your headlight and your ditch lights. Now we're going to go ahead and take out some signs for the number boards. I'm going to use number 8009 because that's the picture I'm looking at, but you can use whatever number you want. 1 on each side above the front windows. Now we go to the rear of the locomotive to put our number boards on there. And at this point I realized my Conrail logo was in the wrong spot. So I just knocked that out and replace it with blue concrete and move the quartz block down 1. Now that our logo's in the right place, we'll place our signs. So on each side, 1 block down. Remember to use the same number you used on the front. You don't want mismatched numbers. So now we got our number boards, a ladder on this side. Now switching to item frames, I'm going to put 2 here because I like the vertically stacked light look, and 2 down on there for your ditch lights. Just like the front, fill all the item frames with glowstone so you have your headlights and ditch lights for the rear end. Now we're going to come to the front. Some Conrail locomotives had these marker lights on the front. So right there on each side we're going to put a button to represent those lights. Now we're coming around the back to place our bell, and that's just going to hang from the top side right behind that dynamic brake radiator on the engineer side. Then this whole walkway here we're going to place black carpet down. And we're going to wrap that right around. Anywhere there's nothing placed, place the black carpet. Same thing up on the other side here, but in this corner we have an issue. The ladder is blocking the carpet. So you have to decide if you want the ladder or the carpet there. I just put the carpet there, but it's up to you. Obviously we can't put anywhere that blower is, but put 1 in front of it. And then same thing up here. Anywhere there's a walkway, put the black carpet and wrap it around anywhere there's nothing already built. Now we have to place our handbrake. The GP38 I'm looking at has a pump action handbrake instead of a wheel. So we come around the conductor side and place a tripwire hook there to represent the handbrake lever. Now we're going to do the coupler. So we have to stack 1 to get it where we need it. So it should be 1 above the tracks, facing that way. And then under the coupler, dark oak fence gate becomes your air hose. Then we place crimson fence gate, leaving a gap in the middle and opening them, and then tripwire hooks on the outside blocks to be our MU cables. Now we have to make something to stand on to do this next part. We're going to place trapdoors to be our gangways between locomotives, and you kind of have to crouch, put 1 on top of it, and then delete the bottom one to get it to open the right way, and then delete your platform you're standing on. And then we have to go to the back of the locomotive and do the same thing. And we're going to put it on the locomotive behind it too, so we can walk between locomotives. So crouch, place 1, 1 above it, and then you can delete the bottom one. And then the same thing here. Crouch, place a trapdoor, another 1 on top of it, then you can open it and delete the bottom one. Use whatever trapdoor color you think looks best. Then we put our fence gates opened up and our tripwire hooks to finish the MU cables on that end. Now we're going to take iron bars on the outside of the front of the cab here to be rear view mirrors, both sides. I thought we were done with the locomotive here, but then looking at my picture I realized the air tanks extend out past the back of the fuel tank on this locomotive. So we're going to go back in with our anvil, and since anvils will fall, we'll need string to hold it up. So we delete that chain, place a string 1 block underneath it, and place our anvil. Now our air tanks come back past the fuel tank like they do on the real locomotive. We're going to go ahead, go to the other side, and do the exact same thing. Knock out that first chain, put a string underneath, and then put your anvil on. Now we have a little bit more accuracy in this locomotive. Now one final thing I'm going to show you in this video is how to make this locomotive into a converted road slug. I know it's not facing the right way to be a road slug, and I don't even know if Conrail had any Gp38 road slugs, but since it's an easy conversion once you have the locomotive built, I'm going to show you here. Road slugs have their prime mover removed, so the first step is going to be to remove anything associated with that. So we come to the back here, and we're just going to go ahead and remove all of these slabs and everything to do with the fans. Now we're going to come back and remove all this bedrock on each side as well, because once the prime mover is removed, they fill in these radiator vents. Then we go ahead and just fill that all in with light blue concrete in a solid block. On top of that, we'll just go ahead and cover everything with carpet. So now we've removed the rear fans and the rear vents. We're also going to remove the exhausts and cover those with carpets. The Gp38s usually keep their dynamic brakes as slugs, so we leave that. But we also delete these front vents on each side and fill that in with light blue concrete. And there you have it, quick and easy to convert this locomotive into a road slug. Well, thanks for watching this tutorial, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know if you want to see more. Have a great day.